Hi, I'm Dan Misra. Enabling AI, how managers turn AI ideas into business value. Organizations large and medium-sized are thinking about AI, worried about AI, excited about AI. In this video, I'm going to give key points on enabling AI in your organization and getting value from it. Most organizations do not have a shortage of AI ideas. They have no shortage of enthusiasm either. Someone wants to use generative AI to improve customer communications. Someone else wants to automate internal knowledge search. Another wants AI-assisted decisioning, better analytics, fraud detection, customer personalization, document processing, productivity tools. The problem is not usually the idea. It's turning the idea into a safe, working, value-producing capability inside the organization. This is where AI enablement becomes critical. It's not just data science. It's not just technology delivery. It's not just governance. And it isn't just project management. It's the practical work of helping an organization move from AI ambition to AI execution. In this video, I will explain what managers actually need to do to enable AI quickly and safely and to get real business value from it. Start with business value, not the technology. The first thing a manager needs to do is bring the conversation back to value. AI should not start with what tool can we use. It should start with what business problem are we solving? What decision are we improving? What manual effort are we reducing? What customer experience are we improving? What risk are we managing? What revenue, productivity, service, or control benefit are we trying to create? This sounds obvious, but it's often missed. A lot of AI work starts as experimentation, which is fine. Experimentation is necessary, in fact. But if the organization wants maximum value, each AI initiative needs a clear value case. For example, is the AI use case expected to reduce handling time, improve conversions, reduce operational losses, improve compliance, increase personalization, improve the quality of decisions, free up people from repetitive work? A manager does not need to personally build the AI model, but the manager does need to insist that the use case is connected to a measurable business outcome. Without that, AI becomes activity rather than value. Create a clear owner for each AI initiative. The next practical step is ownership. Every AI initiative needs a real owner, not a vague working group or a working group, not the AI team or technology, the technology department, not data, the data team, but a named business owner. That owner needs to be accountable for the outcome, the value case, and the business decisions needed to move the initiative forward. There may also be a product owner, a delivery lead, a technical lead, a data owner, and risk partners. But someone has to be clearly accountable for the end-to-end result. This matters because AI delivery often hits friction. There may be security questions, legal questions, funding shortages, delays in data access. There may be concern from business stakeholders who don't fully understand the technology. If there's no clear owner, the initiative slowly stalls. So one of the first jobs of an AI enabler is to ask, who owns this? Who will make the decisions? Who will go into bat for it when it hits resistance? Who will accept the residual risk? Who will confirm whether the benefit has actually been delivered? If those questions are unanswered, the project is not ready to move quickly. Build the cross-functional path early. AI almost always cuts across organizational boundaries. A useful AI capability might need business input, data access, cloud infrastructure, cyber review, privacy assessment, legal review, model risk assessment, architecture approval, change management, procurement, which means vendor review as well, often, and operational readiness. That's why AI enablement requires orchestration. A manager needs to bring the right people into the conversation early, not at the end when delivery is already blocked. The practical question is, who needs to be involved for this to safely go live? For a low-risk productivity use case, the answer may be simple. For a customer-facing or decisioning use case, the answer may include privacy, legal, cyber, risk, operational risk, data governance, architecture, operations, and frontline business teams. The manager does not need to make every specialist decision personally, but the manager does need to make sure that those decisions are surfaced, assigned, and resolved. This is where AI enablement becomes more than project management. It requires enough understanding of AI, data, risk, and business process to know which questions need to be asked. Find the blockers that nobody owns. One of the biggest reasons an AI initiative can slow down is not the glamorous stuff. It's not always the model. It's often the small, boring dependency that nobody owns. The team needs access to a data source. A security group has not been created. A vendor risk review is waiting for information. A shared mailbox is needed. A data feed has not been approved. A cloud environment is not ready. A service account has not been provisioned. Some legal clause has not been reviewed. A pilot group has not been confirmed. Nobody knows who owns the next step, so the initiative slides. This is where the AI enabler has to be very practical. The manager needs to maintain a clear view of blockers. What is blocked? What decision is needed? Who owns the action? What is the next step? What is the data? What happens if it's not resolved? This sounds basic, but it's often the difference between AI activity and AI delivery. The manager's job is to keep converting that ambiguity into action. Activate data for business value. AI depends on data. But many organizations have a strange problem. They have huge amounts of data, but much of it is not ready for business value. So a manager enabling AI needs to ask, what data do we need? Is it available? Is it trusted? Are we allowed to use it? Is it current enough? Does it need to be joined with other data? Who owns it? What controls are required? How will the AI output be used in the actual business process? Data activation isn't just moving data into a platform. It's turning data into a capability that helps the business do something valuable. That might mean reducing risk, reducing manual effort, improving customer experience, helping staff make better decisions, or communicating more relevantly with customers and in a more timely way. For example, if an organization wants to use AI for customer personalization, the value does not come from having a model alone. The value comes when the right data, decision logic, channels, consent settings, customer exclusions, measurement framework, and operational process all work together. That's the real enablement work. Prioritize ruthlessly. Most organizations now have more ideas for AI use cases than they can deliver. That means prioritization becomes essential. A manager needs a simple triage model. Not every idea should be funded. Not every idea can be first. Not every shiny idea is worth doing. Prioritization should consider business value, customer value, risk reduction, speed to deliver, data readiness, technical complexity, reuse potential, regulatory or reputational risk, strategic alignment. The important point is that prioritization should not become endless debate. The organisation needs a practical way to decide, what do we do now, what do we do next, what do we stop, what do we combine, and what do we defer. Without that, AI becomes a long list of disconnected initiatives competing for attention. Sequence for leverage. Prioritization is about choosing what matters. Sequencing is choosing the best order. This is especially important in AI because one foundational step can unlock multiple use cases. For example, building a secure AI platform may support 10 use cases. Creating a reusable data pipeline may support 3 business initiatives. Completing a privacy review pattern may make future reviews much faster. Creating a role-based access control could be used across multiple initiatives. No doubt would be. So the manager has to ask, which work enables multiple initiatives? Which dependency is on a critical path? Which foundational capacity should be built once and then reused? Which initiative gives us the fastest proof point? Which initiative creates learning that helps the next one? This is where AI enablement becomes portfolio management. The goal is not just to deliver one AI use case. The goal is to build momentum and reuse. Avoid duplication. Large organizations often duplicate AI work without meaning to. One team builds on one platform, another team builds on a different platform. 2 teams conduct similar risk reviews. Multiple teams negotiate similar vendor arrangements. Different teams create overlapping data pipelines. The result is double the cost, double the governance effort, double the maintenance, and slower delivery. A manager enabling AI should constantly ask, is another team already solving this? Can we reuse the same platform? Can we reuse the same data asset? Control pattern. approval pathway? Can we create a shared capability instead of a one-off solution? This is one of the fastest ways to increase the value of AI investment. Reuse is not glamorous, but it is powerful. Make adoption part of delivery. A point that is often underestimated is that AI value only appears when people actually use the capability. A model sitting in a platform does not create value inherently. A dashboard nobody opens doesn't create value. A Gen AI tool that staff do not trust does not create value. So AI enablement must include adoption. That means the manager needs to think about who will use the capability. How will their workflow change? What training do they need? What guidance do they need? What decisions remain human? How do we explain the AI output? How do we manage and measure usage? How do we capture feedback? How do we improve the capability after launch? For AI to deliver maximum value, it has to be embedded into the business process. That is why AI enablement is not complete at go live. Go live is just the beginning of value realization. So if you're a manager trying to enable AI in your organization, I would focus on 9 practical things. Start with business value. Create a clear owner. Build the cross-functional path early. Find and remove blockers. Prioritize ruthlessly. Sequence for leverage. Avoid duplication. And make adoption part of delivery. AI enablement is partly program management, partly portfolio management, partly risk management, and partly technology delivery. But most of all, it's practical leadership. It's the work of helping an organization move from AI ideas to AI outcomes. And the organizations that do this well will not just experiment with AI, they will turn AI into a repeatable business capability.